So hello everybody, and thank you for the opportunity to be here. So short to myself, I'm Sandra Rymberg, and I'm originally from Peru, but I lived 23 years in Switzerland, working as a psychosocial counselor, mainly with families and children, and using mindfulness as one of my main tools to work with them. And I'm since almost 2 years in Israel, and I'm a mindfulness based stress reduction teacher, as a mindful yoga teacher as well. So that's what I'm doing here in Israel. So I'm happy to start this presentation, which it would be, I'm going to share my screen. So you see it? Yes, so it's mindfulness and compassion. And it's gonna be a practical approach. With mindfulness is mainly really practical. So to start, I'm gonna make a small introduction, a short introduction to mindfulness. And I'm gonna talk about what is compassion. I'm gonna go a little bit and explain the science behind these two definitions, and we're going to be practicing. So the first invitation is for you to close your eyes or lower your gaze if it feels better for you, and just to come to this moment. I invite you to take your awareness to your feet on the floor, or your sitting bones over the chair, or whatever surface you're sitting on. Maybe being aware of your thoughts, taking us to the future or past. Being aware of our emotions. Maybe the echo in our body sitting here in this moment. And taking a few breaths to feel the body. I'm breathing in deep through the nose. And exhaling through the mouth, releasing any tension. Breathing in and exhaling, softening the belly. Maybe softening the shoulders, the face. And breathing in again and allowing the body to really rest in this moment. Reconnecting again, maybe with the sitting bones or the feet on the floor. Feeling really the contact with the ground. Feeling that sense of support from the ground, earthing ourselves, grounding ourselves. And if any thoughts, emotions, or worries arise, not making this a problem, but allowing this sensation of breathing or feeling the body sitting here to be a place where you can rest, where you can reconnect, reground into this moment. No need to control anything, nothing to do, nowhere to go. And as we end this short meditation, just inviting you to remember any sense of grounding. Any sense of connection you feel right now? And imprinting it into your sense of memory as a place you can return. Just by taking a deep breath in and out. We're connecting to the body. And ready to respond to the next moment. Opening your eyes and coming back to the same room. So I'm going to talk, as I said, about mindfulness first. And I'm going to show you a definition of mindfulness. Mindfulness is practically what we have done right now. And a definition of mindfulness, I like to think of mindfulness really as the ability of be aware in this moment, in the moment that we have really right now. Recognizing it, feeling it with the entire body, mind, even heart. And no matter of the experience, being good or bad, observing it and open up to the possibility to accept it just as an experience. And I put a definition that I like very much from John Kabat-Zinn, which is one of the pioneers in researching meditation and the effects of really mindfulness in the West. And he started doing that with his patient. He was a psychologist and a researcher. So mindfulness is the awareness that arises through paying attention on purpose in the present moment and non-judgmentally. And it's really being in the moment, and really there is also a science behind that. So I'm not going to go very deep about really this definition, but I would like to explain you how the being in the present moment works in our brain. So this is our brain, and I want to present you very easily. I'm not going to go also very deep into that, but it's important because the first time that I heard how our brain works in reactions to stress and in reactions to really our environment, it helped me to really realize what the effects of being in the moment and practicing mindfulness and meditation does to me and my brain. So we have, our brain is very, very complex, but saying it simply, there is two parts that I'm going to talk about it right now. The first part is the amygdala, which is really the reptile brain. It's the part of the brain that really we have since the time of the very early times of the human being, the cave time. And it's the part of the brain that really allow us to react to threat in life. So when we are really realizing that something is threatening us, this part of the brain activates. And activates our sympathetic nervous system, which is the part of the system when really all the main parts of the body, which are these ones, really are not working at 100%, they really slow down. And our, let's say so, our blood and everything goes to prepare us to really fight, flight, or in some case freeze. So our heart is pounding and we are ready in the case of really a main threat to run or to fight if we have to defend us. So this part of the brain activates, and it activates always when it's threat, but always also when we think about threat. So it doesn't matter for the brain if it's really real or not, this is gonna activate in us. So when we are, and sometimes we are really living a threat, like we are crossing over the road and there comes a car, and then it activates automatically, and it's good because we need that sometimes. And then we react and our heart is pounding, But then sometimes our brain keeps creating threats without us realizing it. It creates, if, in case of this car example, maybe the car is already gone, but when we start thinking, oh, what could have happened if I would have got caught from the car, or I would land to the hospital, and then we start really thinking about things that could have happened, and then this part of the brains grows and is really bigger and bigger, and it's really difficult to then realize, are we in threat or not? Logical, we can realize, but our body doesn't realize, doesn't make the difference. So that's very important, why being in the moment, or coming back in the case of the example from the car, when we react, then maybe we can really go back to our breath in the moment. Okay, breathe, nothing happened, calm down. And then we are activating, when we are in the moment, this part of the brain, which is the part who is responsible for when we really have to concentrate, is the part that relax us, that allow us to rest and digest, that is really activating all these parts of our body. So when we are practicing mindfulness, we are really activating this part of the brain, and we really create a balance within those parts, that when the amygdala activates, the threat part activates, we can really auto-regulate ourselves by being mindful. So we don't go into this thinking pattern of really being stressed. So sometimes when we are in a constant state of stress, the amygdala is very big. So sometimes people are really reacting more. Probably you have had the experience when somebody is really irritated and reacts all the time, really very, very quick. So this is practically why mindfulness is very good for our brain and for our body. So when we are coming to the present moment, we are using this part of the brain, and we are activating. It's like using the muscle of mindfulness, we call it. So that is short of mindfulness. So I want to go on and talk about what is compassion, because compassion is a very important thing, and the most nowadays that we have been experienced all these things around us with the virus and being in lockdown and so on. So compassion is a sensitivity to suffering for ourselves and others, with a desire to alleviate and prevent. And sometimes when we are thinking about compassion, where do we start? It's easy to have compassion to others, to the persons we love the most. But I want you to go into a small exercise, like thinking about a moment when you fail, when you really weren't able to do something or to really accomplish something. What was the first reaction to yourself? How were you reacting? In my case, sometimes, or the first quick reaction is to be really, oh, how stupid could I be? Or how could I fail? Oh, not again. And are these feelings of blame towards myself. And then sometimes I react, and then I start to thinking, okay, no, I couldn't have done like this. And then I calm down, and I am able to react in another way to myself. And when you think about a friend, for instance, if a friend comes with the same story, how is your first reaction to that? Do you react to your friend like you react to yourself? You say, oh, how stupid could you be? Or how could you fail in that again? Oh no, not again and again. Or do you give a sense of trying to alleviate this friend, like saying, oh no, the next time is going to be better, don't worry, it's going to be okay. Most of the time we react to others in that way, and to ourselves we are less compassionate. So I want to introduce we all know the golden rule is you should treat others the same way that you want to be treated. But I want to introduce you to the golden rule upside down. So it's important that you should treat yourself as you would treat a loving one. And why is that? Because sometimes we are trying to give something to others, like in this case, compassion. And we cannot give to others what we really don't have. And we cannot have something if we don't practice it, if we don't really, in the moment that we're practicing it, it belongs to us. It's like trying to give to somebody, you know, swimming lessons by saying, oh, I know to swim, but you have only read the different, you know, techniques of swimming. You have never been in water. You have never really tried to swim. So it's important to really experience yourself, got into the water, try to start swimming, and then you can really eventually teach to other or give to other really the experience of really swimming. So the same is with compassion. You can really, the first step to compassion is starting with ourselves. And then we are able to really give to others in the same way. And sometimes it's very difficult because it's more easy to give to others sometimes than to ourselves. So I want to explain why is compassion really a very good thing also to really counteract or to really cure this sense of fight, flight, and freeze in our brain and sometimes in our life produced by stress. Sometimes when I talk about before the brain and how it works, and that really these kind of sensations in the body, no matter if it's a real threat or not, are there. So sometimes where we are thinking, if you can really relate to the thinking taking us to the future and to the past, and sometimes it's difficult to really stay in the moment, and that's okay because that's how our mind works. It works like that. The thing with mindfulness is really to bring it always back. That is the exercise of being mindful, to bring the mind back in the moment. But what I want to say is that when we are in the fight, flight, or freeze modes, in these threat models, and there is really not real threat around us, like, you know, our ancestors had to really, they were in a constant state of stress and fight, flight modes because they were the dinosaurs, there were the tribes attacking, there was really all the time this threat around. And in the actual life, there are of course threats around us, but they're not really there all the time. Like, and sometimes when they are not all the time, what happens in our brain is that we turn into the attacker and the attacked in all the sensations of our body. So the self-criticism and fear, what are we experiencing nowadays? A lot. And a lot of people are experiences, it turns into a fight towards ourselves. And the antidote is really self-kindness and self-compassion. Then we have the flight modus, with it turns it tends into turn into self-isolation. And in self-isolation, I mean also people who go into depression, or into thinking, oh no, this is so terrible, what has happened to me, and so on. And what helps here is to have, to think about the common humanity, that sometimes we are not the only one experiencing this. There's also a common humanity over there having the same experiences as us. And that sometimes is also allow us to connect with compassion to the others. And sometimes not. Sometimes it's not possible. Sometimes it's also even difficult to have self-compassion to ourselves and kindness. And that's okay, you know. Also, the fact of accepting that it's not available for us now is actually for itself an act of self-compassion. So, and also sometimes in the freeze modus, we go into self-absorption. And the antidote there is being self-aware of our reactions and practicing mindfulness, being with what is with us now, and balancing between really working with our emotion and thoughts. Emotions come and go, thoughts come and go. And sometimes we go into this current of emotions and thoughts without realizing. We are really working in the automatic pilot. Science says that we are almost 50% of our time in this automatic pilot, with really not being aware what we are doing and how we are doing it. That's why self-awareness and being mindful is very helpful. So why self-compassion helps, and the most really to calm ourselves and to go out of this state of stress or this sensation of stress in our body. Because compassion releases oxytocin, which is the love hormone, and it activates the pleasant feelings, and it activates also rewarding effects in us. And oxytocin is also a hormone that is the one which is the bonding hormone in our social life. So when we are really practicing or cultivating compassion, we are releasing the hormone in our body, and this allows us to connect really to our human beings, our friends, the persons around us, and then we are really able also to have this connection and to go down with a sense of stress, and to have this sensation of really reward and pleasure. And this also connects us. Oxytocin is also released in the body when we pet our animals, when we are in physical contacts. And it doesn't matter if it's physical contacts that is from another person or ourselves giving us physical contact. So the body really doesn't make a difference between the others and ourselves, as I said before, also in the physical contact. So sometimes practicing cultivating the self-compassion and self-awareness to really be compassionate to ourselves. And we can also practicing by touching us, bringing a hand on the heart, or hugging ourselves, or just, being with ourselves. So that's about the oxytocin in our body. So I would like to give you a small tool that you can really practice in the daily life, and then I'm gonna go into a more longer practice. So this is a practice that it's a short practice that you can do it also short or long, but it's a practice that can help us to really cultivate compassion the most to ourselves, and then we are able to give it to others. So it's called the glad compassion, the glad practice. So I tend to do it at night in the evenings before I go to bed, or you can do it any time of the day as well. So it's an acronym for the G being gratitude, and gratitude of really the simple things in life. It can be appreciating, the moments that we really are not aware of, like the fact that you have your loyal ones around us, or you were able to wake up in the morning, or you have your body, your legs to walk you over there, that you could really take a hot shower, that many are not able to. So very simple things. You don't have to really go and look of what you can be grateful about. Then the second letter is the L for learn. So think about something you have learned. that day, or you have learned today. It could be that you have been realizing something new in your life. You learn, or you read an article and you learn about something that day. It could be also that you learn to see things, you know, during all this week that we have such beautiful practices and learning, that you learn something new about yourself, about your body, about your mind, about food and nurture, anything, you know. And then it's the A of accomplishment. What have you accomplished that day? It could be that you had maybe a good sleep that day. It could be that you were able to do your favorite meal for your loved ones, or you get dressed with your favorite dress, or even, you know, like I don't know, things that you have really that you could do that day, and you were able to do that day. And the last one is delight. Being delight for something very new, you know. I want you to think about the time you were a child, you know, the children from 1 to 4 years old, that they have this kind of delight for anything they see, or anything they really are aware of that, you know. When they see a flower, no matter how many times they see a flower, they bring this sometimes this scream of joy, because the flower is like that, or their animal, you know, they see an animal and they are so delighted about that. So or being delighted about the smile from your child or your spouse, anything. So this is the small practice that is very easy to do. And the name is, you know, like it can remember us very well, being glad. And now I want you to take you to a deeper practice. So for that, I will invite you to close your eyes. Again, all over your gaze. And just connecting again, taking your awareness to yourself, to your body, sitting here, the touch of your feet on the floor, your sitting bones over the cushion or chair, whatever surface you're sitting on. And just connecting to this very moment. Maybe being aware of the sounds around us, coming and going. And then connecting to the breath. But connecting to the breath with this sense of kindness, this sense of gratitude, softening any sensation of tension in the body, breathing in kindness and breathing out kindness. And throughout the practice, remember that if at any time sensations in the body or emotion, thoughts may be too much or too overwhelming, we can come back to ourselves in the body, the connection to the floor, or the kind breath in and out. So I want you to take your awareness, bringing in mind yourself. Maybe bringing in mind yourself or a part of yourself who needs to be recognized, needs to sense kindness. Could be yourself as a child, as a youth. Could be yourself now or any time in your life. Connecting with yourself with this sense of breath, of kindly breath. Sending this kindness towards yourselves. And if kindness is not available for you now, it's okay, just connecting with the intention of giving yourself kindness. Breathing in kindness and breathing out kindness. Maybe practicing saying these words towards yourself. May I be truly happy. May I love myself as I am. May I be free of pain and sorrow. May I be free to grow and evolve. Breathing in kindness and breathing out kindness towards ourselves. And now I invite you to bring into your mind a good friend. Connecting with this friend, sensing him or her, maybe hearing them. And as well as with ourselves, practicing a loving kindness, awareness towards these friends. Breathing in kindness and breathing out kindness towards our friend. Being aware that our lives are different, but we share our common humanity. Like us, our friend experience happiness and sorrow, joy and pain, wants to be loved and wants to love others. And practicing maybe saying these words towards our friend. May you be truly happy. May you love yourself as you are. May you be free of pain and sorrow. May you be free to grow and evolve. Breathing in kindness and breathing out kindness towards our friend. And now I invite you to bring into your mind a neutral person, somebody you don't feel any connection towards. Could be the cashier, the supermarket, or some worker that you know. And then connecting with this person through our common human experience. Like us, this person also experienced happiness and sorrow, experience joy and pain, has a family that wants to love. They wants to be loved. So practicing saying these words towards our friend, our neutral persons. May you be truly happy. May you love yourself as you are. May you be free of pain and sorrow and free to grow and evolve. Breathing in kindness and breathing out kindness towards this neutral person. And now bringing into our mind a person we have a difficulty with. And here maybe to choose someone we don't have a very strong or overwhelming difficulty with. Just bringing this person to our mind, bringing the quality of kindness to our breath, and practicing reflecting our shared humanity. This person may experience the similar range of emotions as you with this difficulty. This person have good days and bad days like us. Now practicing repeating these words towards this person. May you be truly happy. May you love yourself as you are. May you find peace in this world. May you be free to grow and evolve. And if it's difficult or it's not available to connect with compassion and kindness towards this person, it's connecting with the intention to do so, or connecting with a part of you that knows is able to breathe in kindness and breathe out kindness towards this person. And now broaden our attention to include more people. First, the people we have been practicing with ourselves, our friend, the neutral person, and the person we have the difficulty with. Standing or sitting in a circle, sharing a common human experience. No matter our age, our race, our language, we all experience joy and pain, happiness and sorrow. We all want to love and be loved. And now I invite you to include more people, people in your household, people in your neighborhood, people in your town or village, people in your country, people from all other countries, from the whole world, maybe including animals and nature. All together, breathing in this sense of kindness. All sensing this common human experience, this common living experience. And practicing repeating to ourselves, may we all be truly happy. May we all accept ourselves as we are and love ourselves as we are. May we all be free of pain and sorrow. May we all be free to grow and evolve. Breathing in kindness and breathing out kindness, resting in this sense of kindness, compassion, and gratitude. Or if not, just having the intention of rest in this sense of kindness, gratitude, and compassion. And bringing our awareness to our body sitting here. And before we end this meditation, I would like you to read a poem to you. Go gently today, don't hurry or think about the next thing. Walk with the quiet trees. Can you believe how brave they are, how kind? Model your life after theirs. Blow kisses to yourself in the mirror, especially when you think you've messed up. Forgive yourself for not meeting your unreasonable expectations. You're human, not God. Don't be so arrogant. Praise fresh air, clean water, good dogs. Spin something from joy. Open a window, even if it's cold outside. Sit, close your eyes, breathe. Allow the river of it all to pulse through eyelashes, fingertips, bare toes. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe until you feel your bigness, until the sun rises in your veins. Breathe until you stop needing anything to be different. And coming back to this room, awareness in the sounds around us, in our body, and open slowly our eyes. So thank you very much. I think I overused some minutes, but it was worth it, wasn't it? I don't We don't hear you.
Sandra, do you want to just say about your morning class? Are you continuing?
Yes. I will. I'm offering morning meditations every morning at 8 on Zoom for whoever wants to join. There are guided meditations of 30 to 40 minutes each morning, and everybody is welcome to join. I don't know if because I'm not so good in technique things. Maybe I send you. I will send you the Zoom or the invitation to that, and you can send it. And or should I put it here? I don't know how to.
Es sin pagar.
Hmm? Yes,
Sin
yes.
pagar?
Is at the moment is yeah. It's a free.
So I'll just mention that I've been taking these morning meditations with Sandra now for several weeks, a month, something like that. There's no charge to them. Every morning at 8 o'clock, we meet on Zoom, and I'll post in just a moment the link in the chat box. And they are wonderful sessions. So I encourage all of you, or any of you, who would like to do this, 8 o'clock Israel time with no charge.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sandra. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. It's a very nice possibility to start the day, you know, like in a good way.
Emit.
Yeah.
It's true. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sandra.